I think the tipping point might have been the arrest, the mass arrest of nearly 800 peaceful protesters on the Brooklyn Bridge that took place. I know you've been very outspoken about it.
That and the police brutality. I think that very much when it hit the internet became viral because you saw a bunch of defenseless people that were simply expressing their freedom to speak their mind in a public place. Then they were penned off, then they were sprayed down. They were obviously not in danger of harming any police officers. And then all of a sudden you see white shirts coming out more and more often and seemingly unable to be held responsible for anything that they do, almost as if they're above the law. And that is very exemplary of exactly what has continued to fuel the fire here at this protest. The fact that people that are on Wall Street, people that are in government, are refusing, or I should say, not say all of them, but a lot of them are refusing to acknowledge their responsibility in what caused all of this. You know, this didn't come from nowhere. People didn't just decide to get up and be angry about nothing. People are seriously concerned about the direction that our democracy is going.
I've seen a lot of people online suggest that this movement, if they were to take some action, should go so far as to either pull their money out of banks or stop using credit cards. I'm not promoting any ideas here while asking you this question, but it is something that has been suggested. Do you think that...
I think the second idea is a lot better than the first one.
Stop using credit cards.
I think even though we have to have a cohesive strategy to pull this together, I think that there's a lot of real brainstorming that needs to happen. Because if we make one move, we need to be focused on what moves will be made against us. You know, this is a chess game. Just like the United States chess game in the Middle East, where they're willing to give up a few pawns, but what they really want is pieces. They're willing to trade a few lame duck presidents, because what they really want is the main characters out of the building, you know? They're willing to trade the pawn, Bengali. Get out of here, he's a pawn, right? The other guy used to be a player, Mubarak, became a pawn. What do they want? The bishop, Gaddafi, gone. Now, they want the queen, Iran, out of there. This is a huge chess game, and don't think that they're not playing that here either. We have to not only be focused on what the next move, but what the reaction to what their reaction of our next move is. We have to think ahead of the game, which is why I said there should be more brainstorming sessions here, and I'm not so sure if they should always be in public, because I think honestly that we're not the only ones watching this.
Right.
We'd be a fool to think that there aren't people involved here or around this area that aren't sleeper cells or agents. That's not me being paranoid, that's just the truth, you know? The first black person to ever work for any Secret Service agency was Agent 800. His job was to infiltrate the movement of Marcus Garvey. If they were thinking like that back then, why wouldn't they be thinking like that here? And I think what's most important is that we don't get frustrated or angry or upset or lack the patience to be able to deal with this movement.